Today I wanted to play around with a piece of deli paper and an acrylic plate. This is just a piece of plexiglass that I picked up in the hardware store. They have a section where you can buy replacement glass and plexi for frames. So you could probably also get this at a craft store, but it's just a piece of plastic. And I'm going to be doing, I guess, a bit of monoprinting, which is going to be applying my acrylic inks to this plate and then pressing it onto my deli paper. So let's get started. Now that this is entirely dry, I think what I'd like to do is add a layer of one color over the entire thing to try to unite the page. So I am going to grab my flame orange ink and just a chip brush, and I'm just going to dip that brush into a little bit of water. And what I'm going to do is just apply some of this ink onto my paper. And I'm just going to coat the entire piece. And to me, this is all about experimenting and seeing what happens. So just taking that ink and moving it on the entire page. It's like the white areas are acting a bit like a resist. And now what I'd like to do is take a paper towel and I'm going to wipe off that ink. And of course, whatever color I use to do this is going to create a different look. I use the orange, so it kind of toned things down a little bit. You can imagine if I used a yellow or some other color that things would have looked quite different, or a blue. But I like how that orange turned out. And I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to bring in the piece of paper that I was using that I kept kind of stamping off onto with my piece of plexiglass, and I think I still have some orange on my brush, so I'm just going to coat this with that same orange tint. And sometimes people will ask me, well, what do you do with these papers? I do a bunch of different things with them. I actually like to use them for collage pieces, incorporate them into collage. You can find really nice pieces and use them on cards or scrapbook pages. You can also take your pieces of deli paper like this when they're dry and use them to wrap packages, which is a lot of fun. And you can also make some tape out of them if you use some double-sided adhesive. So there's a lot that you can do with these pieces in your art journal and in your art projects. The other thing that's cool about this piece is you could also use this reverse side, which has a totally different look, and you could use that as a background in some art journal pages or a collage project. So you have a lot of different choices here. And off camera, I decided I wanted to create a little memento of our journey together today. And so I went ahead and took a piece of the paper that we created, and I went ahead and made this 2" by 2" mini collage. I cut a few strips and laid them down, and this says, "Find the little girl." Because to me, that's what today's video was all about, being willing to just play, have fun, not censor yourself, and just see what happens. So I encourage you to go and find the little girl. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.